Hi, everyone. Hey, this is Ayana, your resident health and wellness coach from Thrive and Be Whole. Woohoo! Hey, raise the roof, raise the roof. I don't know why I always raise the roof, but I guess it's just, what can you say? I love it. I love corniness. Happy Monday to you, or happy whatever day you're looking at this. If you were like me, it's the end of your day, you're starting to wind down a little bit and you're kind of thinking about how you can chill a little bit, or you have small children and you're like, I will never chill again. I'll never have free time again. That's what I'm starting to feel right now in this moment. But really, I look forward to family time. I do, but it would be nice to sleep. Like, that would be great. So if y'all have the hookup on sleep, please let me know. So I hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful day, and I hope that you had an awesome start to your day, whatever time that you're watching this, because, I wanted to bring this video to you because right now in my business, I thought that it was very important to give myself a theme for the year, and that this year's theme is all about empowerment and being empowered and taking empowered steps in the directions that we want to go in order to achieve the goals that we want to achieve, whatever those may be. And part of the empowerment series is the month of January is all about deciding that you matter and that you're important. And one lesson in figuring out and owning the fact that you're important and that you are valuable is understanding and remembering that you are not lazy. So I bring up this topic because I see so many of us using the word lazy. We throw it around so casually. It's just a part of our society's words, okay, you're laying down, or, your child is laying down, or somebody, friend, family member is laying down, and that person's lazy. They don't get up, they don't try, they don't do anything. And so when it comes to your goals, we have a tendency to call ourselves lazy. Okay. So, the words that I used to use for myself a lot were, especially with my finances, oh my God, that's a video for another day about my finances. But with my finances, I used to be in my early 20s, a catch me if you can type of person. I don't know how many people can relate to that, but with my finances, I was very much like, oh, okay. I was going to school in New York, but my address was in Oakland, California, so all of my bills were going to my mom's house in Oakland, California, where we currently are. And, I was like, well, if I didn't see the bill, then, oh, well, what are they going to do? And over time, I've learned that, they'll find you. Eventually, they'll catch up to you. But, I remember that one of the words I just used to use for myself is, well, I must just be lazy. I must just have a laziness when it comes to getting stuff done, when it comes to, when it comes to finances. I'm just lazy. My mom was very tight with her finances, so I thought some people just have it and some don't, right? And how many times do we hear that in our society, right? Like, that some of us got it and some of us don't. And I'm here, as somebody who's been an educator for over 7 years and who's worked with students of all different skill levels and who came in at one level and left at another one, I can tell you, it's not the fact that you are lazy. You are not lazy. In fact, let me repeat it again. You are not lazy. I am not lazy. We as human beings are not lazy. Okay? And I don't care if someone has said it to you before, and I don't care if you've internalized it. Your inaction, your lack of action is not because you are lazy. And we have to stop using that word, because lazy is really, it's really a misnomer. It's not really something like, when we use laziness, I took a couple of notes on this because I wanted to be accurate in what I was saying, but laziness really, when we use that word, what we're saying is that there's something wrong with you, that you are somehow deficient, that there's something lacking from you and your character that is making you not able to accomplish your goals. You, unlike somebody else who has a good work ethic versus you who are just lazy, right? And so we have to really unpack what that means. It's full of judgment, and it's full of, there's something wrong with you, wrong with you, wrong with you. Now, I know from my own personal experience, and we know from research, that judgment and shame are actually counterproductive to the things we want to accomplish. So the more that we use terms like lazy that are full of judgment, we actually make it even harder for ourselves to get up and get moving. But it's also not accurate, because lazy implies that there's somehow something within you versus someone else, that's different from from someone else. And that's just not accurate. We know that skills grow. They are just like any type of muscle. And our motivation also grows. It's just like any other muscles that we have. In fact, one of the resources that I've used a lot on here and that I just love to death, if you guys, my secret show that I enjoy, don't tell anybody, I like watching Dr. Phil. Okay. And Dr. Phil actually has a really good bit of advice about this. He has what he calls the 4 different stages of readiness. 4 stages of readiness. Okay. The first one is that you are inspired to change because an outside force pushes you to do so. And it works all the way up, all the way to you being internally motivated and you changing for yourself. Okay. So it starts out with an authority figure pushing you, and it evolves all the way up to you being internally motivated. So what we know is that laziness, the way that we've thought of it, is actually really a lack of motivation. And we as human beings, we are all in different spaces of motivation depending on what the activity is. So I was really unmotivated to do my finances because to me they felt really confusing and really overwhelming. And they made me feel kind of inadequate, to be honest with you. But I was really motivated when it came to doing community organizing or helping people or volunteering. Like if I had to go volunteer somewhere or go to a protest, I was there and I was working hard and I'd be there till 3 a.m. Or if I need to be with my kids, I can be up with my kids till 3 in the morning. But if you ask me to pay bills all night, you see what I'm saying? So, and we all as human beings, we're all like that. We all have different parts of our life that we are more motivated to and more passionate about, and it's easier to push ourselves in those areas than others. And so we have to start unpacking with ourselves and say, okay, you know what? I'm not lazy, but what is it? So just listening to the wisdom that is in my body, really just hearing out what it is that our wiser selves are trying to say. When you feel lazy, or really when you, let's get rid of that word. When you feel unmotivated, ask yourself, what is it that my body is trying to communicate to me about this situation? Because that'll help you move forward. So instead of saying, you know what, I'm lazy, I suck, I'll never be able to get my finances together, I'll never get my health goals together, I will never lose weight, I will never meal plan, it's just not going to happen. That's where lazy takes you. But with unmotivated, it's like, okay, what is making me unmotivated? What is underneath the surface of that has caused me to do that? And for me with my finances, they felt, I grew up where, my mom was really good at her finances, but, I think she kind of forgot to spread the love and spread that message on to me. So for me, I grew up being like, this is scary. This is overwhelming. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So instead, I'm just going to avoid it and I'm going to run away from it. And in fact, you can send all those bills to my Oakland address, but I'll be in New York. That was the way that I handled it. But it wasn't me being lazy. It was me being unmotivated and scared and letting fear be in the driver's seat. And so many of us, there's so many different reactions to when we feel lazy or when we feel unmotivated, and mine is inaction. I know this to this day. When I feel overwhelmed or I feel really stressed out, my tendency is to shut down. Oh, let's turn on Law and Order. Let's turn on the TV. Let's turn on Love and Hip Hop. Don't tell anybody. But let's turn on something and let's zone out, because that is, the way that I've learned to cope with that. And so to the outside world, we have viewed that symptom as lazy. We've called that laziness. But really what's going on is that it's a lack of motivation. And a lack of motivation may be related to insecurity, maybe related to fear, maybe related to stress, and prior things that have happened to us in the past. And so what we do, when we really see it for what it actually is, which is the lack of motivation, then we can problem solve it. We can find solutions. So once I stopped looking at my financial situation and the way that I was handling it as me being lazy, and I was like, okay, I'm unmotivated. Why am I unmotivated? And I started listing all the reasons I really was, and I got deep with myself. It helped me to be like, okay, maybe I just need some help. Maybe I need someone to tutor me and give me advice and just walk me through this. And all of a sudden you start thinking of concrete next steps and solutions. And the same thing for losing weight. The same thing for getting healthy. So many of us, we buy a gym membership on January 1st and we're done by February 1st, right? It's not because we're lazy. It's because we're unmotivated, or it's because of our lack of motivation, and a lack of motivation related to fear of failing, of like not succeeding with our health goals, feeling overwhelmed because we feel like it's too much. How can I possibly lose all this weight I want to lose? Okay. Fear of looking like a failure. I mean, all of these different things play a role. So we have to be mindful of these things when we start to be nicer to ourselves and just say, you know what? I'm unmotivated, and maybe it's because I have all this fear. Let me get some help. Let me reach out to people. Let me create an accountability group. Let me look at inspirational things every day that are going to help me want to get myself up and go out there and do it. Okay? We can do this. We can conquer. We are powerful. We are obscenely beautiful and amazing. You already have the tools you need inside of you. Okay? This is January. This is the month about deciding you matter. Decide you matter right now. Decide that you are not lazy. Decide that there's nothing deficient with you. Decide that there's nothing wrong with you. And decide, you know what? I was already divinely created. I have everything inside of me that I need to be successful. And I'm going to push through my fear, and I'm going to come up with one small step at a time to overcome this challenge. Okay, so get rid of words like lazy. Let's take the judgment off. Hey, you deserve it. All right. Thank you, guys. This is just what was moving my heart today. And I also just want to share with you, too, that if you're interested in a way to help you do that, again, I offer health and wellness coaching, and part of what that is I provide self-care strategies, both to help you live more balanced, and my self-care strategies are for physical health, mental health, and spiritual health. Okay, so reach out. I would love to work with you, and if you are not sure what health coaching is or if it's really for you, just check me out. We can have a free call and we can check in. If you like me, cool. If not, no sweat. Okay, so again, I loved coming to speak to you today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Hit me up.